and welcome to another evening, a Monday evening with creating and having some crafting fun with me. It's 7 o'clock and so it's time to begin. My name is Lillian and I am from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada, and I'm so glad you can join us. Thank you so much for all of you who leave comments or give some interaction. If you follow, also, if you're catching this on YouTube, many of you have been leaving me comments and I'm so thankful for that. And also, I really appreciate you subscribing and giving the thumbs up. All that positive feedback helps me to be a little more successful on my social media journey, it is a journey, but it's a good one. So, thank you for joining me tonight. And I was trying to think before I came online, and I thought, what is the question that's being asked everywhere? It's not the weather so much right now. It's not daylight savings time so much right now. I think it is, are you booked to get your COVID shot, or or have you had it already? That seems to be the one that's being asked the most. And good news, Harry and I are getting ours on Thursday. So leave us a comment if you are slated to get yours, or if you've luckily already have one. And let's go down to my desk. And we will get things all set up here. And then I'll just make sure the computer's all cooperating as well. And let's see here. There I am. Okay, there we go. So, Sue and Lynn, hi, welcome. So, good to have you guys here. I so look forward to Monday evenings, and so I'm glad you joined me. You're saying, but you did this last week, and I did show you this card last week, but I had to just say that I have received so much positive feedback about this card, and that I wanted to thank you. And so then again, the inside. So if you missed last week's, you might want to take a little gander at it. The layout alone is one that can be repeated over and over and over again. And it doesn't have to have a butterfly. It can even be a circular image or something. But this was huge. So thank you for the very positive response. And let's go on to a few more things. Oh, and I see more people on, Sheila and Judy and Diana. Yay! So good. So I'm just going to mention the special. Some of you are familiar, but some of you haven't been on before for a while. So just so that you know, this bundle is a sneak peek of what's going to be in the new annual catalog. It is called the Butterfly Brilliance bundle, and I have had so much fun with this. So that's one big stamp set and then a whole bunch of dies. And then just for right now, while supplies last, so these two items are not going to be in the annual catalog. This is 6x6 designer paper, which is, again, just so much fun. And this big die cuts out these butterflies. And then there's this paper here that is wood grain, and it's almost three-dimensional. It's got a little raised bit to it. So that is also available. So do check my website for more information about all of that. And while we're on it, for anyone who buys the bundle from me, I have a free online class. So what it is, you supply your own materials, but I will supply the class. So let me just show you what you get in that class, or what the projects are. So here is one project. So this is showing the dies, and it's also showing that little spotted thing, die, and a little bit of the paper. But again, if you don't have the paper, you can substitute your own. And here's another one. And for ease of the class, I just die cut out the images from the paper, but you can stamp and cut out these butterflies yourself and then color them. And then one of the dies cuts out this brickwork, and I put some of the paper behind. Here is using it as a background, like that. just the black and white with a pop of color. Here is using it as a background, but then I put a little layer of vellum on top to soften it. And this is a fun fold card, so it goes like that if you look from the top. And then one last fun fold card is this one here. And again, if you don't have the paper, you can substitute something different here and you can stamp and color your own. And I show how to use the die just to catch some edges. And then inside we have these lovely fluttering ones. So I will put the link on this Facebook page afterwards, so you can get the link if you're interested in that class. So that is one of the classes I now have available. I also have some other classes, so I will have a link where you can access the other classes that I have available. So there's one other special on right now, and that's the Hey Chick and the Hey Birthday Chick. So there's the Hey Chick stamp set and the Chick dies that coordinate with that, and the Hey Birthday Chick stamp set and the Birthday Chick dies. And these are so much fun, and not only are they good for birthdays and that kind of thing, but they work well for Easter. So let me just show. One of the dies in the Hey Birthday Chick one is this little chick here. And this one here, he looks cute coming out of a cracked egg, which I will show you down the road a little bit. So the dies cut out the stamp sets and a few extra things. I'm using this Happy Birthday a whole lot. So this is the stamp set this one is in the Mini Catalogue, and then this is on special right now. So just something to be aware of if that interests you. And I can't remember if I showed you this. So this is a die, or a card, pardon me, a fun fold card. So here it is, it's got the window. I even put the Happy Birthday on some foam there. I don't know if you can see. And then when you open it up, it's there. But then this, and then the greeting is underneath that. So that's just a little sample there. Oh, I'm seeing a whole bunch more people. Hi, everyone. Welcome. All right. What I am going to do tonight is case the catalog. So it's always fun to look at ideas in the catalog and then do something with them. So what I'm going to case tonight is this, but I do not have this stamp set. So I had to do some ad-libbing. And so hopefully you like what I came up with. The other thing is I looked up, and these colors here are Pear Bazaz, Mint Macaron, and Soft Seafoam. So I am going to use those colors, but I'll give you some other ideas. So this is the stamp set that's used in this sample, but this really neat wreath here is actually from a bundle from the annual catalog, and it's a bundle that I had my eye on right from the get-go, but didn't get till fairly recently. So this is the stamp set here, and I don't know about you, but when I see ideas, I'll write them right in here. And then the dies are later on. So let me just show you the stamp set in real life. There's some great samples there, of course, we could case. So here's the stamp set, and you'll notice there's Merry Christmas, Best Wishes, Happy Easter, Give Thanks, Happy Heart Day. So it covers almost everything. If you needed a stamp to cover everything, you've got a saying for almost everything except sympathy, and you could add a sympathy one. Then you've got this stamp here. You've got some pears, some Easter eggs, leaves, flowers, hearts, even a partridge in a pear tree, a little crate. So I'm going to feature this stamp this week, this bundle. So then the dies, pardon me, I'm having trouble talking, which I know isn't unusual. So these are all the dies. Look at them. So there are even some extra dies, because Stampin' Up! Does that. If they have some extra room on the metal, they will cut some extra things out. So this one here, look at that. There's a little heart with love in it. That would work for a wedding, an anniversary. And you know that I like to then get acquainted with my dies and cut them out. So this is what they look like when they're cut out. I didn't do the stamping on this one. I kind of forgot. But you will get to see that later. So there's what we're using. So and the paper, well, I've got this out. I should show you. The paper, we will be using that too, but you could use whatever paper you want. So let me just bring in, so if we look at this again, this has the wreath, it has decorations on the wreath, it has some words here, it has this paper in the background, and then a banner type of thing here. So I'm going to bring in the paper, and I chose to use a 5x7. So like that, I'm just going to bring this so you can see a little bit. So nice texture there. And then I cut out some of the wreaths. So there's the mint macaron one, and there is the pear pizzazz one. I'm just going to offset it a little bit. And then the soft sea foam. So there's two different wreaths in that die. So there's this really, I don't know what you would call that, but it really tinier leaves, and then this one right here. So that's how it's going to be layered. But I wanted to show you that before I glue it all down, you could actually take this idea and turn it into a card. It's going to fit onto a card. It's going to fit onto this, and it would even fit onto in a picture frame, so you can use it for home decor. So let's take that measurement off and move along here. So I'm going to keep this in front of me to make sure that I am following that. And while I'm doing this and chatting away, I'm wondering what you think. What stamp set do you think is going to carry forward into the new catalog? All the chatter right now in the Stampin' Up! World is what's going to retire, what's going to carry forward, that kind of thing. So tell me, as I'm yattering away here, what stamp set, either from the mini or the annual catalog, do you think will be in the new annual catalog? And it's going to, we're going to find out some of that on March the 24th. So let me know. So before I glue this down, I just wanted to share something. If I had wanted them glued flat, before I cut them out, I would have used some adhesive sheets. And how these work, these are just literally what they say, sheets of adhesive. And you peel it back and you would stick it to your cardstock and leaving the protective backing on. And then once you've run it through, then you would peel that backing off, and it's like a sticker then. You've just turned it into a sticker. So for a lot of my fine dies, I like to use that. But for tonight, I'm wanting some of it to kind of be raised up and that kind of thing. So I'm going to bring in my multi-purpose adhesive, and I'm just put a few dots. So as all of you know, this is where a little goes a long ways. Oops, there's a piece of a die there. So you don't need a whole lot. And I should have that out of the way and use my mat here. So I'm going to put that to the side. It can dry a little bit. In fact, if you are patient and let it dry so that it goes clear, it works better because it doesn't ooze out at all. But I think I am being careful enough that it's going to be just fine. And this is using all the greens. Can you think of a set of colors that you would use that you think would look really neat? So let's move this to the side. Karen thinks that some of the Love You Always suite will be carried forward. Ooh, yes, I'm hoping so too. What about some of the rest of you? So let's just see. I'm going to put this, for this right here, I'm going to put it fairly central because in looking at this, that's what they did. And then I'm going to bring in this. So really, I am just copying. This is one way to get ideas, is just to copy what's in the catalog. It's called casing. Copy and share everything. There we go. So now we've got it like that. And now we're adding the soft seafoam. I just love this leaf one right here. Well, I love it all, and so now we have 3 layers. I've seen and done lots of other cards where you don't have to use 3 layers, but there you get the effect. We've got the 3 layers. Now the next thing I want to do is the words. Now I don't have, like I said, I don't have that die set or that stamp set, so I am actually just going to use the words. Where did I put them? The words Happy Easter right from here. I'm going to make this as something to decorate my craft room. And I'm going to bring in the mint macaron. That's the same color as this here. Whoops. I do want to do something before I do it. I want to bring in my banners, pick a punch, and make the banner end. And why am I doing it before I stamp? I like, so then it really helps me figure out the placement of where I want to stamp. So most of you, I think, are familiar with this punch, but you can put 3 different sizes, 1/2 inch wide, 3/4 inch wide, 1 inch wide in here, and then it'll fit in the trough, and then you have that there. And I can't remember if I told you, but in case I didn't, I chose to use 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 before I punched. So there we've got it like that. So let's get that out of the way and bring in the stamp. And I like to stamp when it's a photopolymer stamp, in other words, the clear stamps on a spongy surface. And this here is actually from the Stamparatus. It's a spongy mat with the grid paper on top, and it works out well. Oh, and so I'm hoping that you guys are okay. My computer has frozen. Friends are like seashells. Yes, Lynn, that would be a great one too. And oh, there. I did have an extra one stamped just in case. There we go. So we'll bring this back in. And that's going to go about there. Then the other thing that is in that stamp set are Easter eggs. So I stamped them in Rococo Rose, Bumblebee, and Highland Heather. And just to save time, I did cut them out already like that, and woo! Just about dumped them. I played around with, if I didn't want Easter, I could have put flowers or leaves or that kind of thing in too. So let's get organized here. I'm going to stick this down first, and I want to have a little bit of a curve to it, some movement to it. So I'm gently, because I don't want ridges, so I'm being gentle and doing it a little bit more often. So what I did was I raised up here, and then I gently raised that up, and that's just so it could fasten down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue dots on the end. I'm actually going to use 2 because I want to make sure it stays down, and there's lots of foliage there. And I'm going to put a glue dot here, but the part that is raised up, I'm actually going to put dimensionals. Some of you who've been following my butterfly journey know that this is something I've done a lot of recently. So I'm putting 1 dimensional there, and I'm actually going to layer 2, one on top of the other, just to give it a little bit of extra height. There we go. So, is that about where I want it? I think I want just a tiny bit higher. In getting ready to do this card, I actually got out my spring wreath and hung it on the door. Are you wreath hangers? I do when I remember. I quite like it. So now I'm going to arrange some little eggs here. Maybe. Now when I did it this afternoon, I like what I came up with, but of course it's always different when you do it again. And let's see here. Yeah, I think that will work. I just had to show you these. I cut out the little chicks. I was thinking of using them. So I don't know if you can see, but there's the little wings come up and that kind of thing. So I could have put that on too. Could have put flowers on. But I think we will just go with this here for right now. So we'll bring in, I'm going to put that down. Tuck it in. I know that I have a few of you who are florists, and I always feel intimidated when I start to do this flower arranging business because I know that I don't have the gift. Whoops! I do have the gift of dropsy. There we go. Like that. Now we could embellish to our heart's content, and you know that I love to do that, but I wanted to just move on a little bit here, and I'm not sure I got Happy Easter straight, but it'll be good enough. Now, before I put on these pieces here, I wanted to show that you could actually put it in a frame, so you could do some home decor items. So you could put it in a frame like that. I put a little bit of a banner there, and then you could add ribbon as well. So we have some really neat ribbons that might work with that. So we could hang down some ribbon like that, or I could bring in, oh, makes me nervous when I think about these ribbons retiring. So we've got this ribbon. This would look good on there. Or this, you like it in the frame, Diana? Oh, good. Yeah, I like it in the frame too. But my goal was to case the catalog, so I'm going to, but you can see how you can dress that up. Ooh, I like that a lot. And I could go back and get some of my little bits and pieces that I cut out and start to add some stuff here. You can see where you can just start to really go crazy. So that's one idea. So I'll just put that to the side. Now, if you were totally casing the catalog, you would then put one of these up here and one of these down here. And I think that they would be 1 by 5.5. That's pretty close to what it works for me. Now, where to punch the hole? Because if you look here, you see that there's a little hole in each one here to hang it by. And you can just wing it, and that works just perfectly. But if you don't want to wing it, if you are somebody who wants to, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my computer working here because mine has frozen. Let's see, there. Oh, there we go. I think I'm in business again. There, yep. So you can do a couple of things, and this is what I often do. I'm not a mathematician, so I often cut a piece of scrap paper. That is the same. Then I fold it in half, and wherever I punch, then I will have my lines. Let me just show you. Forgot to bring a hole punch over. So if I punch it here and here, then when I open it up, it will be ready to go. What I have done here is I have taken something that scores, so and I have decided, okay, I'm going to score it there. and then I'm going to score it in the same amount on each side. So say, oh, right about there. And so do the same on this side. And then where they cross, let me just bring a pencil in so you can see. So where they crisscross, so that's where I scored. That's where I'm going to punch the holes. So those of you who like to be precise, these are a couple of ways of being precise. And then that's where you're going to do it. But before I do that, I am actually going to fasten these down. So this wood grain part, whoops, I went right to the end and I wasn't supposed to. So let's just bring in my handy dandy little rag. Actually, I'm going to bring in my mat, my silicone mat, and put it down like that. So now I'm going to line it up with the top edge like that. And then turn it over, and that excess glue, I'm going to wipe it off. There we go. And I'll just flip that over so it's not sticky, and I'm going to put this one on while I'm at it. Oh, I did the same thing. So I'm a little bit of a slow learner here. I just keep repeating the same mistake. Do you ever do that? So let's clean that mess off. And then we're going to take this out of the way. So we are nearly there. Now I can bring in my little template, and normally I would just hold it in place and use my hole punch, but this is on camera, so I'm going to make a dot here and here. And that takes care of the pencil mark. Then I'm going to bring in, now I know that I had it right here. Oh, it's right under my nose. This is from the snail mail suite, and we're going to thread that through. And what I like to use when I need to thread through a tiny space is I use these dental floss things, like a giant needle, and I'll come from the back. See how it's so easy, it just pulls it through, no fraying, and go through here. So now I've got that done. Decide about how long I want this. Well, what I'll do is tie a knot in the back of this one. Maybe I'll tie a knot in the back of this one. And I need to make it a kind of a fat knot so it doesn't come back through the hole. There we go. Like that. And I think that's about how I want it, but I have to give myself room to make another knot. So we'll pull it this way. And do that. Well, maybe we'll do that. There we go. And there we go. We have, now I would add rhinestones or something like that. You could add ribbon, anything like that. But there we case the catalog, and there we go. So I hope that has inspired you to take another look at some of these catalog things, and maybe even make some home decor, or you can always put this on a card. And speaking of on a card, let me just show you a couple of other things. Before I do anything, remember a little bit ago I said what other colors, if you were using the same color, like we did greens on that one. So here it is in purples. So I cut out a few purples here. Let me just bring in some white and put this underneath. So there's Purple Posy and Highland Heather here. So we could do the same kind of layers that we just did on that card. So 1, 2, and well, we will then 3. So we've got lots of little viney layers there. Or we could use just one, or we could stamp one layer, or we could use just these two. So you can do all kinds of things, or you can have it just on a part of a card. So I am actually so excited about this set right now that I'm going to start to put together a class for it. So as I'm showing you the last few cards, I need to know, do you like to just use your own, like for example with the butterfly one, if you bought the bundle, then I would give you a video tutorial and a handout, but you would use your own supplies. Do you like doing it like that? Or do you prefer that you would buy the bundle, but that I supply the pre-cut supplies? Do you like to, which way do you like it? Do you like for you to use your own supplies, or do you like me to cut the supplies for you? So while you're answering that, I just wanted, I think I've shown this, but here is just white on white. So this wreath right here, but it's white on white with just the butterfly added and a few gems. Here is, and this is what the new In Style square card. Here I added a bit of yellow behind. I cased these from somebody, I'm trying to remember who. Patricia Outland, she's from Europe somewhere. But I really love the simplicity of it. So those are those two, just stepped up a little bit. And this is one I made, a little bit ago. And I used designer paper in the background. And then there's that love die that I was showing you, and I put just some paper behind it. Whoops. Take that back out of there. So there's that. And I had this there for a reason. I forgot to show you. If you didn't want to do an Easter one, or even if you did want to do an Easter one, you could always add the butterflies too. So you can add all kinds of things. The dragonfly would look good, that kind of thing. So there is just a little introduction to the Arrange a Wreath bundle. I think it has so much potential, and this is one that I am hoping is going to be in the next catalog. So Judy, you're saying it's faster if I cut it out. Yes, it will be more expensive though too. So some people are liking using their own things. And Suze likes to do it as a Zoom class and working together. So I'm not as good at doing that, so maybe I need a little more practice with that. And Kathy, we're so nice to have you back. I'm sorry things have been crazy for you, and so I'm glad you're able to catch us. So there's that. If you would, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just didn't want you to overlook this bundle or this idea here. So take care and thank you. Bye-bye.